Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings, with me, Gretta Chamberlain, and the Realm of Beings. Shifting Impressions, which is one of the vehicles that supports the transmission of the Realm of Beings, is here to assist you in delving into your being by providing numerous topics and discussions for you to intake as you deepen your connection with your inner world. Shifting Impressions is here to assist you in strengthening yourself as you excavate to understand your true nature. Join us today and learn to shift your mindset, shift your thoughts, and shift your focus to recreate your life and produce a new you. Shifting Impressions starts now.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time of day you're tuning in. Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. I'm Carol, and I'm here with my co-hosts, Gretta, Kathleen, and of course, the Realm of Beings. We're happy to be here on Transformation Network every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Just a quick reminder that our next expo will be in Los Angeles at the LAX Airport Hilton from February 7th to February 9th. You get your tickets online at consciouslifeexpo.com. Greta will be giving free psychic readings. We'll have broadcasting live, shifting impressions with an audience. And our special guest, Alan Steinfeld, will join us again. And you know you can always experience shifting impression news and latest happenings by tuning into our website, www.realmofbeings.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Transformation Network, Spotify, and any other of your favorite streaming networks. Listeners and viewers, if you're new to this podcast, first off, thank you for joining us when being part of this experience. These conversations will help you to look at your life and your creation of reality so you can see what you're creating, how it shows up, how to gain perspective and learn how to shift what you're creating in order to create what you want. So welcome everyone. To our new listeners and viewers not familiar with the podcast, each week Greta gives us a quote which has been shared to her from the Realm of Beings. We discuss it avidly and excitedly, and halfway through the show, the Realm of Beings will come in and give us their additional thoughts about the quote. I'm very excited about this week's quote, I have to say. Usually I don't give a title, but I'm going to this week. It says, break free from your fears. And the quote is, fear is a construct to make you believe that you are less than what you are. The description is explore what fear is, when it is detrimental, and how to rid yourself of its low vibrational influences. And I think there are multiple definitions and reasons for fear. It's definitely an emotion. And it's a very basic instinctual emotion. In early existence of man, it probably was a protection device so that they were not fallen prey to predators. There's fear of being a failure. There's fear of being a success in some cases. And sometimes fear is helpful. It can make you protect yourself. But more likely than not, fear is usually low vibrational or detrimental. And the biggest fear that I've always found most people experience is the fear of the unknown. And that in turn, I think, keeps people in challenging situations that they probably want to extricate themselves from, but they're afraid to because they don't want to venture out into something they don't know. So they stay in an uncomfortable situation because it's familiar. And the only thing stronger than fear, guess what?
Unconditional love.
You got it. I knew Kathleen would get it. So yeah, definitely. And that's coming even from the dictionary, that love is the only emotion stronger than fear. So,
Love of self. Let me add love of self.
which I agree with you, Kathleen. The dictionary didn't put of self in it, but just the emotion of love is definitely the strongest emotion that exists, I believe. So,
Well, you
Well,
know,
and then,
love, when you say you love somebody, that I call that Valentine's Day love because you love
yeah,
the person today and you might hate their guts tomorrow.
so
So, you
true.
know, I take love with a
well, they
grain of
might do
salt.
something to make you do that now, Greta.
Huh?
They, you might support them in creating something to make you feel that way about them. It's just
Absolutely.
but I mean, it's. I don't mean to cut you off, but you're absolutely
Yes, you
right.
do. Yes, you do mean to cut me.
Both you ladies are creating and supporting each other. Go ahead and proceed.
Go ahead. I couldn't help it, Kathy. I couldn't help
Couldn't
it.
help it either. It's like dun 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 dun. Dun. You know, just to piggyback off of what both of you said, I see fear as an extremely, I don't like to use the word, but I am quotation marks powerful emotion. And it can really wreak a bunch of havoc,
Oh,
not
yeah.
only on yourself, but on everyone and everything else. If it's allowed to soak into your bones and your joints and your cells and stuff and just into your beingness, it can rot you to the core. However, that's a judgment
Mhm.
because it is as Greta and the realm has taught us. It has consciousness. All emotions have consciousness, right, Greta? So
Absolutely.
therefore, we need to respect the fear, just like we respect the love. And again, it goes back down to what Carol was saying. There are all kinds of fears. My fear is driving to places I don't know where I'm going, and that fear was supported by some childhood incidences in dealing with a car. But there are others that everyone has, and you can develop them and get rid of them. It's
Yeah.
just sometimes it can be a challenge. Some can be real easy to get rid of, and some can just you just never get over them, and they can be crippling, and
Oh,
it can
yeah.
really, yeah, it can really just impact your life and your joy. And that's to me when you need to decide whether or not you want to keep that fear or release it and
Mhm.
practice love of self.
And I think fear is a topic that's embraced a lot within like psychology or psychiatry or whatever psychological sciences or pseudosciences one wants to use. And a lot of them will use techniques that say face your fears. And those are usually things that are, in my opinion, fairly simple. Like if you're afraid of spiders, what do they want you to do? Pick up a spider. I
Yeah,
mean,
right. But you know what? Better know what kind of spider you're picking the hell up.
that's true. You don't want a brown
Come on
recluse,
now.
that's for sure. But
That's
then there's the greatest or the strongest fear is the fear that makes you feel paralyzed, that you feel it's detrimental to your existence, and it will cause paralysis that you can't even do anything about it because you don't know how to proceed. And the way to try to bring the love in, there's the things that we teach here that Greta and the Realm has taught us, the QDRs, breathing, meditation. There are a lot of ways that you can overcome no matter what the fear is. And I think you have to acknowledge if you have it, accept that you have it, and then proceed with what are you going to do about it to get rid of it. Is
You know,
that
I think
fair?
that the quote, not to cut you off, Carol,
No, no, go ahead.
the quote that it says, like it says, believe that you are less than what you are. I'm going to say that fear can be a good construct as well,
Hmm.
because fear uh, can help spare you from certain situations. You know, it's like a fear of here comes a car out of nowhere and you're on the street. And that fear of being hit is going to give you the momentum to move away. out of the way. So, I know that today it's talking about less than, but fear is also a good thing as well. So it can play both ways. Um, and this one story, and I'm sure most people have heard about it. I'm just going to say it, that there was this woman, her son had gotten hit by a car, and she picked up he was under the car. She picked up that car and they were able to move him out. So that was fear of her son being further hurt or further crushed. So in that case, fear was working in a positive way. So I think this is something that can, even though the realm's quote today is putting an emphasis on it in a low vibration, but sometimes fear can be also a helpful thing as well.
Well,
Depends on how you use it.
it's like what you just stated, Greta, as an example. It's a physiological um, retribution of the adrenal glands, just giving you a heavy shot of adrenaline and cortisol. And there's stories all over the place about superhuman strength from situations like that. And what I referred to earlier about early humans being afraid of predators, because humans were not the apex at the time, and they were very easily consumed by lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. So
Oh
fear
my.
was protecting them. But I think what the realm is trying to, and of course they'll come in and give us more definition, but I think they're talking about the kind of fear that hurts us, that we're creating for ourselves to be hurt by, like fear of being loved. That's the type of fear that I got from this quote that they were trying to teach.
I hear you, but you know what? If I stretch it out like I kind of normally do, just looking at the past month with the whole political thing, I was amazed at how fear was used throughout that entire as a weapon. It was actually
It
weaponized.
always has been, though, Kathy. It
Yeah,
always
I
has.
know, but I know it's always been. I know it always has been, but you could just really see it. It was so much in your face. Um, whatever fear people had, they just went at it, and the end result is people fell. Well, they fell into it, and that's what they did. So I hear what you're saying, but like I said, fear to me comes in all forms, sizes, and shapes for all different
Absolutely.
reasons, and for different people experience it differently, and different people handle it differently. And
Absolutely.
that's what I think the realm wants us to look also as to how to um, recognize the fear we have, work on getting rid of it or moving past it or acknowledging it. And, if it's a good fear, like Greta said, then it's okay for me to not want to be around a cobra. Okay. I have fear of snakes, but I darn sure don't want to crawl in no tank with a bunch of snakes or a lion. Okay, go ahead, Greta. I'm done now. Woo, just thinking about them
If I
snakes.
can just interject and piggyback off Kathleen's statement, I actually had this exact conversation with someone who I work with. By the way, folks, I am probably the oldest person where I work, just so everybody has context. And she tends to talk a lot about the political environment and, everybody's out to get us and the government this and the AI that. And I said to her, and this I got from you, Greta, the week that unfortunately I was not able to be here after the election when you and Kathy hosted. I took your advice about don't have fear. Everything that's going, I lived through the 60s. I remember fighting for civil rights, for women's rights, for gay rights, for anti-Vietnam. I went to protests. I signed petitions. I went to sit-ins. I lived through that history. And I'm looking here how many years later as this old lady, and I'm seeing the same exact things. It's like, what did we accomplish? Didn't we get rid of this stuff already? And yet it circles back.
There's an
But you know
African
what?
proverb.
I'm
What goes
not
around comes
afraid.
around.
I'm not afraid because I know we create, now I know more. I know we create our own reality, and I'm not going to let these things be part of my creation.
There you go.
So
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You know, what's that old adage, be in the world but not of it?
of it. Mm.
You know, that's the thing. And I remember when my friend, she's made her transition now, but she came to me, this was years ago, and she said, "You've got to save your food, Greta, because there's coming a time where there's not going to be any food and you're not going to be able to eat." And so she was giving me that fear. My retort to her was, "I don't plan not to be able to eat." I said that is just not in my uh, focus. That is not in my paradigm of belief. You know that I'm always going to be able to eat. You know,
Good
but
response,
the
Greta.
interesting thing is that she came to live with me, and she lived with me for 2 years, and during that time she had a big l- uh, what do you call those things where you store things? A store.
Storage unit.
Yeah, storage unit. You know, one of those big ones you can put a car in. Okay, she had a big one like that. I went there with her. She said, "I want to show you where my food is." Man, we walked in there. The woman had beans. The woman had rice, lentils, all kinds of food that she had stored, right? So she said, "Well, let's take some of these beans back with us, to eat." I said, "Okay," it was red beans. So we took the red beans back, and I said, "Let me get the gas off of the beans." So I put them in water and left them there all night long. When I came back the next morning, the foam, now the pot was only halfway filled with water, okay? A big pot. So the foam was all the way to the top, the gas from the beans. I said, "We can't eat this." So she stored all that food that was in her mind that was going to save her from starvation, but yet it was something that we couldn't eat at the moment, and we hadn't even come to the part of starvation, you know. So that fear, see, the other thing about fear, this is the reason why I'm saying this and giving that example, because fear gives you what you fear.
Oh, yes,
So she
And
absolutely.
then she
felt
never got to eat it anyway.
right,
Exactly.
absolutely. And she was into silver. She said, "Greta, save, change your things and your money into silver." I went with to talks on why you should flip your monies over into silver or gold. So she had about $30,000 worth of silver, right? So what happens? Her son has comes into a uh, challenge, and I went with her to the lawyer. We went to the lawyer, and we felt good about the lawyer. Okay, this is a person we're going to hire to help her son get out of his challenges, and she used the silver, of course, that she had saved to pay the lawyer. So by the time she paid the lawyer, her $30,000 worth of silver or whatever it was worth was gone.
Mm-hmm.
So it was gone. So she's trying to hold on to food because she's not going to have enough. She's trying to hold on to silver or money because she might not have enough. And what did she do? She created to lose both of them.
Wow.
And then, we paid for the lawyer. And the interesting thing about it is that her son created to go to prison anyway. He's out now, but he stayed quite a while in prison before he could come out. So, I mean, all of that was lost because she feared it. So I think that's another reason why the realm is bringing that up today. You get, and I want to emphasize this, you get what you fear. It's going to
Geez,
show up.
I need to start fearing being a thin, wealthy woman is what I need. That's going to be my new fear with a good-looking, wealthy husband.
You know, a gift. There was a gift
You
somebody
already
sent
are,
me over
Carol.
the phone,
Thank you.
and the
My
gift
husband's
said,
missing though.
"I'm afraid of $1 million."
Who said that?
That was in a gift. Somebody sent me that over my telephone,
Oh
and
my
it
goodness.
said, "I am afraid of $1 million." Remember, you get what you fear. So therefore, it said, "I'm afraid of
That's
$1
funny.
million." So then I'm going to
And
get,
keeping
Did
it
they
and
get it?
keeping it.
Did
yeah,
they get that
right.
million?
That's the part. Didn't say to keep it. Yeah, for
Uh,
real, for
You
real.
can get it, but you got to keep it because everybody said that's a
yeah.
mistake. That doesn't belong to you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Um,
That's right. Right.
The friend sounds like what they call survivalists. And I have to tell you, there are tons of commercials on TV, and those commercials scare me. They're advertising about you have to buy gold, like forget about your regular money, it's going to be worthless, yada, 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 go buy gold. And I don't know about you, but my local drugstore will not take a gold bar when I need to buy my prescription. So that's one point of it. But the one that gets me the most are these food kits that they're selling. And this is the part that gets me. They're supposedly good for 25 years. Now, I've got to wonder what kind of percentage of preservatives are in that food that they could last for 25 years. Is
Just
there
buy some
even food
Twinkies.
in them? Is there real food in it?
Twinkies.
Just buy Twinkies. They never go bad.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I saw a little cartoon where a guy was like with the genie lamp, and the genie comes out and says, "What's your wish?" And he says, I wish to live forever." And the genie turned him into a Twinkie. That's too funny. That's what she should have been saving instead of beans.
Yeah,
Twinkies.
Twinkies.
So what kind of food is in, what kind of
I
food is
don't know, Greta. There are these kits. Look, some things they say, oh, and they're delicious. They look like I wouldn't. Ooh, I
There are
guess
people, it's fear. I'm sorry, Carol. It's
of
fear
course
that
it's
makes them
fair.
buy it. And
Yeah.
they're survivalists, and they're also those military little groups of people where
Mhm.
they're getting ready for the Civil War, so they're going to stock all up, so that when they start, when the crap hits the fan, when the fear goes all like this, and who fired the first shot, the
People
famous line,
have
"Who fired the
bunkers
first
that
shot?" They're going to be ready.
they have bunkers they've buried with all this
It's
food.
like the 1950s with the
Yeah.
atomic bomb. Everybody building, and now people are falling in them and they can't get out. What happened to Mary? Oh, she fell in the bomb shelter that her father built in the yard. Oh my. Oh, she yes, she gone. But it's like the what's the Orson Welles thing? When he the little radio
war
broadcast.
with the worlds?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, and
yeah,
all of
with
those
the
people in
Martians
New Jersey
invading.
were out there with guns and rifles looking to shoot aliens. And what's
Oh
happening
my
in
God,
Jersey
people
now?
were so scared. I know
But
now
they're
we have
scared
the
now,
drones.
Carol, because y'all have the drones.
The drones. I have to tell you, this is funny, but one of my customers for where I work happens to be a naval base in New Jersey, and he called up looking for help with something, and I couldn't help myself. I said, "Dude, what's going on with the drones?" And he said to me, "They're not ours." I said, "So you say, but still, what's going on with them?" And he never answered me
They're the
a
size of small
but I
cars.
asked. I asked.
They're
It's
the size
scary.
of small cars.
I know I'm seeing videos all over. I haven't seen one myself, but videos are all over the place in my neighborhood, mind you. So
See,
I
I
don't.
think through all of this, one thing, I want to give an affirmation,
Oh, I like that.
and it is, I am experiencing being safe and secure at every moment of my existence.
Exactly.
I'm going to invite listeners and viewers to write that one down. I know I have it written down, and it is one of the best you can have.
You know,
Greta,
you've got to,
it?
yeah, you've got to declare that you are safe.
And
And
that's what I do when I feel afraid, Greta. I will do that. I'll say that one.
yeah,
Good one. It's one of the best.
that's important because there's so many things that are set up. Because what does fear do also? I'm going to stop that thought to say this. Fear also supports separation.
Yes,
You
it
see,
definitely
that's
does.
another way, another construct of it, because you're afraid to live in the same neighborhood with another ethnicity.
Hmm.
There's a fear of that, you know, or this is going to happen. My property is going to go down, or I'm not safe around those people. You
People
see.
fear anything that's different. And again, it's because they don't understand fear of the unknown.
And right, and not only just not understanding the fear of the unknown, but not realizing that we're all one in the first place.
Exactly. Exactly.
So the fear really helps us to stay away from each other, not to interact with each other,
What a
not
shame.
to be peaceful, you
To
know.
harm one another.
Right, right.
If only humans understood that we are all human. That's our species. Do you know that I saw a show the other day where they have found orcan whales that can communicate in dolphin to dolphins? So you're talking about one species learning another species language to communicate. Now, this
Right.
is not like us learning French. We're still human. This would be like us being able to speak the same language that our dog and our cat speak. Like we're not
Wait a
even,
minute. You said a killer whale is talking dolphin?
yes.
I think they're calling them for to dinner. They must be short on
Kathy,
food.
don't bring fear into it. I thought it was a wonderful high vibrational thing and I was impressed. But if humans would understand, we don't even talk to other humans the way we're supposed to.
I know.
So,
We
how
got
are
to go
we
to break.
ever
We
going
gotta
to
go
get to understand other species? On
Yeah.
that note, we're at that point in the show. We're going to take a short break. We're going to ask everyone to stick with us because we'll be right back with the realm. Greta, was there any final words you wanted to impart?
No, just I think the whole big thing about this is self-love and recognition that each one of us is safe and secure. When you believe and you claim it. So you got to claim your safety. You've got to claim your security. And that's really what it's about, claiming what your focus is.
Agreed. Agreed. On that note, folks, we ask you to stick around. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. We have reached that portion of the show where the realm has joined us and will expound upon the quote that they have given us. So, realm, can we welcome you, please?
Absolutely. And we're very glad to be here with the audience and with the two of you. Yes, we are.
We are very glad that you are here with us all. This week, we've been talking about fear. Your quote was, "Fear is a construct to make you believe that you are less than what you are." We've been hypothesizing what we think you mean by it, but tell us what you really mean by it, please.
I think both of you, all three of you, did a very good job on it. Um, we wanted to talk about fear with the audience because we know that each and every one of us has some fear of something, you see. And notice we said us. There's a reason for that because we're emphasizing that even though we are pure thought, we have no corporal bodies like you do. But the point is that we are still one with you. We are still one with everyone. When one person goes through fear, we all go through it because we are all the force. And the force experiences itself through us. So it's not that just one person is fearful of snakes, as Kathleen said. But if you're afraid of snakes, then guess what? That's impaired with all of us. But I know that's going to be challenging for people to really accept that. So let us move on to where it is just on a one-to-one basis. You know, people can have so many fears. Some people have fear of living itself
Mm.
because they're afraid at every turn that something's going to happen to them. And it could be that they have created something to happen to them, more so when they were children. So they carry that fear all the way up to their present lives as adults, and they act on that. So some people get to the point that they never want to even leave the house because they're afraid that I forgot what you call it, but it's to you can't even put your one big toe outside of your front door because you're afraid that you're going to be hurt. So that is what you would call a mental illness. So fear plays itself in many ways. Kathleen said that she wouldn't want to be around any snakes, that she doesn't do well with snakes. You know, I'm sure she was just talking about it but, as an example, because if she had a fear of it, then somehow she's going to come across a snake in some way, shape, or form. You know, so you actually, and so we're going to say again what you ladies have already said, is that whatever you fear, that is what you're going to get. Because fear is a very strong energy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to, when you have it, you're exuding a strong energy. And so the very thing that you're afraid of is going to support you. Remember, it's create, support, support, create. So if you're afraid of snakes, guess what? Somehow you're going to get a picture of a snake, you're going to get a toy snake, or you're going to get a real snake. Or you can see, you'll see a snake in some way or another that you're going to be exposed to it, you see. So you want to declare your safety at all times. It doesn't matter because of where you are. You could be in the middle of a war and bullets are flying all over the place. You don't have to be hit unless you're afraid that you're going to be hit by a bullet. You know, you can know that I am safe and therefore you must be that way. However you declare yourself in this.
Realm, it just dawned on me that I have a fear of driving on the highway. So I need to practice just saying, just I have no fear. In other words, I'm experiencing knowing that I'm safe and secure driving on highways while I'm doing it, and and
Absolutely. That will
and
help
mean
you.
it. That's exactly what it just came to me to do.
But you know, our suggestion to you, Kathleen, would also be to unpack that, as you say, to what about the freeway am I afraid of? You know, break it down into small increments so you can see exactly. When you say I'm afraid to drive on the expressway, that's your whole general thing. But what comes underneath that?
It's
Is it
not
that you
knowing where
have
I'm
a,
going, not knowing
huh?
where I'm, not knowing the roads and where they're going. It's like driving on unknown roads. I can drive anywhere, any road that I've been on. Once I drive it once, I'm okay. And it would happen from the childhood, couple of childhood accidents, and my oldest brother getting out of the car and I was getting my license and telling me to drive. Here comes a Mack truck. So I would say fear of trucks also.
And but let's go to the next step of that. What
I
else are you
create.
afraid of in front of that? You've got two things now. You're afraid of places that you aren't familiar with. And why are you afraid of those? The second would be that I'm afraid of getting lost. The third thing, your reverberated realities would be I'm afraid of getting lost. So, what would be that? Then I'm afraid that if I get lost, I won't be found.
Won't be found.
You see how?
Mm.
So, one fear
Abandoned.
leads
Abandoned.
to another.
There's the lesson, abandonment.
Yeah, that's my lesson too. Abandonment. That's one of them.
There you go. So, look how we've gotten four things from that one statement that you said.
And being hurt also. Fear of the other person, not myself.
So why would you not so you're not afraid of being hurt, but you're afraid that you would hurt someone else.
I guess when you've been in a couple of car accidents, it kind of makes you, for me, a
Skittish.
little, yeah, skittish. Um, and whether they were my fault or not, well, actually, I know that everything that happens to me, I created. So I understand now it's my fault, but I
I
shall
don't like
unpack.
that word, Kathy. I don't
Huh?
think it was your fault. I don't like the word fault. I think that's judgment.
You
Okay, I'll be
know, it does
responsible.
because
I'm
Blame.
responsible.
what
It's
I'm
are
responsible.
accidents but anger in the first?
Anger, anger. Yep.
So
Oh,
that meant that there were two people involved. If it was an automobile accident with
yes, it
two,
was.
because you can have an automobile accident with several. You know, what do you call that? A pileup?
Mm.
Yes, you do.
All these people have gone and decided at the unconscious level to experience this. So, and see, that's another thing. I'm glad you brought that up about anger because fear can reverberate into anger. We want the audience to really understand that when you create a reality, it just doesn't stay as that reality. It's going to reach out to other things. So when you're afraid of driving on the road, then it's going to go into all those other things that we just discussed, you know, Kathleen. So it has reverberations. Anytime you have a thought, it has life. You've given life because it was in that probability that something like that could happen. But then you create the probability to be an actuality.
Right.
Mhm.
And those thoughts, that knowing that and learning that created another form of fear. And then so you wind up QDRing all day because then you become afraid of your own thoughts because, oh my God, my thoughts are alive. Oh no, I didn't mean to think that. I don't, if I'm driving down the road, is that tree going to fall? Oh God, why did I think that? I don't want to think that, for me, went to the phase of being sort of paranoid and afraid of my thoughts as part of my journey.
Well, see, that was your fear. That was fear. That was an extension. That was extension of fear. See, once you have fear, many times you're going to create other fears that support you as well. It just doesn't sit down in one place. So you want to capture it. You want to let your unconscious understand that you no longer want to experience automobile accidents anymore. So therefore, you say, I am always experiencing being safe and secure in any interaction, in any reality. I am that. I am experiencing that. You saw more so than I am that. I am experiencing that. I am experiencing being safe and secure at every moment throughout all of my creation of realities. Do you see? Some people are afraid to walk in certain neighborhoods at night. If you know that you're safe and secure, then you're going to know you're safe and secure. You see. So, and also let me tag on to that. That's also moving in wisdom. You're not going to want to jump out of an airplane to do skydiving without checking to make sure that your parachute works. You see what I'm saying? So there's a certain looking and being moving in wisdom. The wisdom is to check your parachute, before you say, hi-ho, out to jump and the doggone thing doesn't even open up. You'd be in really dire.
You go, oh no, oh no.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like you don't want to get on the road and not have enough gasoline in the car to get you to the next gasoline stop or to get you to your destination. You're moving in wisdom.
Right.
So it's not necessary. And there's a fine line between moving in wisdom and being in fear. You see. So you want to always be in alignment with wisdom. You don't want to, it's not necessary to test the waters. In other words, you know that certain sharks like to go up and have people for a meal. You're not going to jump in the water to test it and to show that I'm not afraid of sharks.
I'm not.
You're going to move in wisdom. It's not that you're afraid of the sharks, it's just that you know that when you jump into the water where the sharks are circling, they're going to eat you. So therefore, you're not going to do it. You're not going to say, oh, I'm not afraid. I am experiencing being safe and secure on all of my realities. But at the back of your head, you know the reality of what happens when you jump in with a bunch of sharks.
That's why I swim in wisdom.
Everything's a probability, and you have to remember that, I think.
Yeah.
And I know someone, I can attest that when I was much younger, I put myself in situations, not deliberately to be in danger, but they were considered to be situations that most people would consider dangerous. And I never felt afraid because my not knowing about creation and reality yet, I had a belief system that victims were victims because they thought, acted, and felt like victims. And I never did. And guess who never was a victim? At least not in those situations.
You.
Victim in other ways, not going to talk about it. Realm, quick thought that came to me. For people that have, by the way, the fear of leaving your house is called agoraphobia. I just thought I'd throw that in there. If you have, let's say, a fear, like I myself was a bit afraid of driving at night recently, since I've gotten older, the eyes are not as sharp, the lights seem too bright. Is it recommended? I took it as, let me find a practical way to deal with this. And I went to get prescription nighttime driving glasses, which have made an unbelievable difference. So to address your fear in like little practical steps. Would that be a recommendation also?
Absolutely. That's moving in wisdom. You want something to rectify your situation, which
Right.
was that your eyes were affected by the oncoming lights and
Mm-hmm.
did not enable you or disabled you to a certain degree to see where you were going.
Exactly.
So that is what we're talking about, moving in wisdom. See,
Yes,
that's the
absolutely.
fine line between living in wisdom versus being in fear. There's a fine line between there.
Excellent example too, Carol. Excellent,
Thank you.
excellent.
I'm just appreciative that I was called wise.
Oh, anytime, Carol. We'll be very happy to define you as a wise woman if that makes you happy.
It does, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're so welcome, wise woman. Are there any
I
other
love
questions
laughing.
you
I love
have
when we
for us?
laugh on this show.
I'm sorry, what did you say,
I
Carol?
said I love laughing, how much we laugh on this show. I
Oh,
just enjoy
yes, it
it.
is. It
Wonderful
is
experience.
interesting, isn't it? We'll
Yeah.
have to work on our laugh. We have not laughed. We'll have to figure out what kind of laugh that we would like to have. You know, we can do any of those laughs. Ah ha ha.
Carol, your example of getting those glasses to me, that was a way you chose to break free from your fear too. You
Yes.
you really you really stepped up, and yeah, I'm gonna give you two claps. One, two. You
Thank
really
you.
did an excellent
I
job at that.
appreciate that.
Um, I guess fear is a construct to make you believe that you are less than what you are. Um, can you elaborate on how that makes you less, make you believe you are less than what you are?
Because you become consumed by it.
Mm-hmm.
So the fear is going to knock out you even experiencing love of self. It just knocks it right out. You can't, if you're in love with yourself, truly, with self-love, unconditional self-love, then you recognize there's no need to be afraid. There's no need to set up situations that produce lack of love or support you in lack of love of self. It won't even come to you. It can't come to you because you're creating that around you constantly. Love of self, love of self, love of self. That's energy. That's energy. Your thoughts are energy. You see yourself as a wonderful being. Don't negate yourself. Fear, if it's used in the negative way, is supporting you in negation of
Mm.
self. That's what it does.
I've been focusing on more and more and more, Carol and Realm, on practicing loving myself unconditionally. And just even going back to what we talked about, even last week about always doing for others and not for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Always having money to buy something for someone else, but not for yourself. So, it really makes a difference in how you feel. It doesn't have to be something expensive you buy for yourself. It could be that $4 or $5 Starbucks cup of coffee that you often walk past every single day because you had your cup at home because you're saving money. And it's just the little things, that you do for yourself. Um, Getting your nails done and stuff like that. Just practicing saying that I'm worthy
Mm-hmm.
of experiencing that joy in my life, being happy. And you know what? I feel better. I actually feel better.
Absolutely.
And
That's
when I'm not
good.
afraid, when I feel like a fear or something, that's like I said earlier, Realm, I now say I just QDR it. I'm experiencing the knowingness I am safe and secure at every moment. And I also say, I know I am not alone. The realm is with me. My ascended masters, those that walk with me, I've been talking with the angels of the white light, like was suggested before, like getting some guidance and things, and it's making I feel better. It's keeping me calm, and everybody's noticing a difference in me, in
Mhm.
my energy.
Absolutely, because you're practicing and reaching inward toward your divinity.
That's exactly
You see,
correct.
fear takes you in the opposite direction. See, everything is internal, not external. Your challenges are internal. The solutions are internal. The only thing that's external are the beliefs in the
Illusions.
illusions. Absolutely. It's the belief in the illusions that and fear can concretize itself.
What
You
does that
know,
mean?
that means that you can have a fear of being hurt, let's say, uh, that some people fear that somebody's out to get them. So they fear it. So that means because they fear it, then they're going to actualize, they're going to see it as anyone or anybody who comes near them has the propensity to hurt them. You see, you will create the experience for yourself so that you can support yourself being in fear. Some people do that, you know. It's not that just the fear is just going to pop up. You have to create the fear to be there
Mm,
and to
mm,
pop up.
mm, mm.
Otherwise, it's not going to pop. So when you create the fear of anything, of being hurt, of losing money, of not being well, fear of losing a mate, fear of being homeless, fear of not being married, fear of not being able to have children. You have all these fears of getting a debilitating disease, fear of growing older. You know, you don't, there are many cultures that look down on you, look down on individuals because they're growing older. Whereas there are other cultures that look at people growing older as being wise.
They exonerate the elders.
Right, you see. But there's some groups that do the reverse. Oh,
Exactly.
and then some people say, oh, I'm getting old. So what does that mean for you? Oh, I'm going to be crippled. Oh, I'm not going to have any money. Oh, my children are going to put me in a nursing home. Oh, I'm going to die soon. You know, those are all the fears. Embrace your life with peace and ease and love of self. Acknowledge your divinity within yourself. Know that you are deserving of peace. You know, you
And
can create challenge and malice and hate inside of yourself. You can create those experiences, and that's okay if that's the lesson you want to learn. But do you really want to focus on that?
nope. And on that note, realm, that is why next week's quote is "'Tis the season to be joyful." Carol,
Oh,
turning it
yeah.
over to you.
We are at that time of the year and we are at that time of our podcast. I'd like to thank Gretta, Kathleen, The Realm of Beings, Transformation Network, and of course, listeners and the rest of the audience, hopefully viewers too. Without you, we have no reason to be here. And we love being here. So
Yes,
until we create each other again, have a wonderful week. Thank you.
Once again, thanks for joining us at Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings on TransformationTalkRadio.com. As you have explored today's creation of reality experience with the realm and me, Greta, each of you is being supported by us in further developing the understanding that you are not just an individual existing in linear time and space, but a multi-dimensional force of infinite possibilities who is connected to all. So begin to create the realities you want. Join us every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Shifting Impressions at transformationtalkradio.com. So long until we create each other again next Friday.